Today's my 22nd birthday, and I'm buzzing with excitement in my little London flat. I'm Evelyn, fair skin glowing under the fairy lights, auburn hair brushing my shoulders, hazel eyes glinting like the city's pulse outside. I slip on my leather bracelet, a gift from Jasper, and twirl before the mirror, dreaming of his surprise. He's my guy, golden skin shimmering in the low light, cropped dark hair tousled, stubbly chin tickling when he grins, grey eyes sparking with mischief. He's been so cagey, I muse aloud, picturing us clinking glasses on some rooftop bar. His phone buzzes on the counter, a string of digits flashing from an unknown number. He swipes it away when I peek, muttering, "Work stuff." Odd, but I shrug it off, too caught up in tonight. I hear his key scrape the lock, and my heart leaps like a scratched record. "Jasper," I call, darting to the door. He steps in, denim jacket stiff, hands gripping a suitcase. My smile wavers. "Where are you going?" I ask, voice cracking. He avoids my gaze, brushing past with a mumbled, "Hey." I grab his sleeve, but he shakes me off, the scent of his cologne sharp as a blade. Through the window, I spot Lila leaning on her car, warm brown skin catching dusk, short black curls framing amber eyes, gold hoops bold as ever. My best mate since uni. My breath snags like a thread on a nail as he strides toward her, suitcase thumping. Streetlights flicker, London's skyline bruising purple behind them. I stumble after him, calling, "Wait, what's this?" He doesn't turn, just climbs in beside her. "You tell me what's happening here." I stumble to the window, hands pressed to the cold glass as Jasper's car growls to life with Lila inside. My hazel eyes burn, tracking the taillights until they blur into the London night. He paused at the door just long enough to drop the bomb, sliding his promise ring onto the table with a clink that rings like a snapped wire. "Lila and I, it's real," he said, voice smooth as polished stone. My auburn hair falls into my face, a flimsy shield against the sting. Through the pain, Lila flashes a smirk, amber eyes cutting through the dusk, gold hoops glinting like tiny taunts under the street lamp. "Real?" I choke out, the word sour on my tongue. My mind reels, stitching together her dodged plans, their sidelong looks, whispers that withered when I walked in. It was always there, lurking in the seams of my trust. "How long?" I demand, voice quivering like a leaf in the wind. He shrugs, a lazy roll of his shoulders, and turns away. The door slams, shaking the walls, leaving me with that ring, a cold shard of betrayal. Days lurch past, my flat a tomb of silence, until a knock snaps me alert. Jasper's back, grey eyes darting, golden skin sallow under the hall light. "Lila kicked me out," he mumbles, hands buried in his denim pockets. "I need you, Evelyn." His plea dangles, thin as a spider's thread. I stare, feeling a fire kindle deep inside, scorching away the girl who'd have crumbled. I step forward, bare feet steady on the hardwood, and swing the door shut in his face. The lock snaps, crisp and unyielding. He's out there, stunned, but I'm not through yet. What's he scheming now? I'm still reeling from slamming the door on Jasper, the lock's echo dissolving into my London flat stillness. My hazel eyes dart to the window, half expecting his shadow to hover, but the night's damp chill has claimed him. That ember inside me flares brighter, tempering something steely. A week limps by, each day stacking stones around my heart. Then, a knock cracks the quiet, jarring like a pebble against a pane. Jasper's back, stubble sprawling wild, grey eyes brimming with a frantic edge. His golden skin looks washed out under the hallway's flicker, denim jacket drooping like a wilted flag. "I'm sorry," he says, voice unraveling like worn thread. "I can't lose you too, Evelyn." Guilt seeps from him, heavy as wet earth, and I nearly falter at the ruin he's become. Nearly. "You chose her," I snap, words slicing like a razor through velvet. My auburn hair swings as I fold my arms, the leather bracelet shed long ago, a token of a fool I've outgrown. I was stupid, he begs, lurching closer, hands grasping at air. Give me a chance. I stand rooted, feet firm on the hardwood, and shut the door again, its boom an anthem of defiance. He's out there, mumbling to the silence, but I've turned away. The mail slot rattles, an envelope slipping through, landing soft as a sigh. It must have been delayed in the post, I think, snatching it up, pulse racing at Lila's spiky scrawl. You deserve the truth about him, it taunts, her words coiling like vines around a spark. I tear a corner, breath sharp, hooked on her bait. Truth? She's toying with me, tossing a riddle I'm itching to unravel. What's she plotting now? Hang on, we're not done yet. I'm gripping Lila's letter, its torn edge biting into my palm as her words blaze through me. My hazel eyes squint at her jagged script, that jab about the truth humming like a live wire in my head. The London flat shrinks around me, air thick with restless energy. I fling the envelope down, its flutter swallowed by the rug, and dive into Jasper's forgotten junk, fingers trembling for proof. My auburn hair snags on a cracked shelf as I yank out a locked box, its rusty clasp mocking my patience. A hairpin cracks it wide, and a faded photo spills out, stealing the air from my lungs. It's Jasper and Lila, kids with reckless grins, arms looped tight under a sun that's long set on their secret. My gut clenches, a vice squeezing as the years of their bond crash over me. This cuts deeper than I thought, a wound I never saw coming. I'm up, storming through London's snarl, the city's pulse pounding in my ears. Lila's loft rises ahead, all sharp edges and smug glass. I hammer the door, knuckles throbbing, until she swings it open, amber eyes glinting with fake shock, gold hoops dancing like warning bells. Dug up the past, huh? She purrs, voice sliding like oil over a flame. I shove the photo at her, its corners buckling in my fist. Explain this, I growl, each word an ember spitting from a fire. She lounges against the frame, brown skin gleaming under the light, and laughs, a sound that snaps like twigs underfoot. He's always been mine, she says, her claim a fist to my chest. The world wobbles, but I lock eyes with her, defiance burning through the haze. She's ripped open a lie I lived, and there's more behind that grin. What's she still burying? You'll see next time. I'm pinned in Lila's doorway, her words slamming into me like a tide smashing against cliffs. My hazel eyes bore into her amber ones, defiance tangling with the hurt her claim unleashes. He's always been mine, she sneered, and it's a barb sinking deep, poisoning every pulse. Since when? I snarl, voice rough as torn cloth, my auburn hair lashing as I step closer. She smirks, brown skin aglow in the loft's stark light, gold hoops flashing like sparks off a flint. Since we were kids, she says, each word a pebble sinking in my chest. He never loved you, Evelyn, just strung you along. The truth unravels, a tapestry of deceit I've danced on, every soft glance from Jasper crumbling to dust. I recall a late-night call he muffled, eyes skittering, brushing it off as junk. Junk? It was her, always her. You'll choke on that lie someday, I growl, fists clenching, nails carving crescents into my palms as fury roars, a river breaching its banks. Her laugh ripples, brittle as frost on a puddle, and I spin away, storming out, the city's din a faint pulse beneath my rage. Back in my flat, I claw through a box he'd stashed under the bed, unearthing letters in her scrawl, their vows bleeding across the pages. My legs give, dropping me to the floor as I read their schemes, penned while I slept beside him. The betrayal gouges me raw, but that void ignites with wrath. I snatch a lighter, spark it alive, and feed the pages to the flame, watching them writhe into cinders, their secrets dissolving in a haze. They'll pay, I mutter, a pledge etched in the flickering glow. My phone buzzes, ignored, as shadows leap across the walls. Then headlights carve through the twilight, slicing my window. It's Jasper's car, creeping up slow. My heart hammers, a war drum in my ribs. He's here again. You won't believe what's next. I'm hunched over the charred remains of Jasper's letters, the bitter smoke curling around me as a tense pause hangs in my London flat. My hazel eyes lift to the window, catching headlights piercing the dusk after a fleeting stillness. Their glare a silent challenge I didn't ask for. The lighter drops from my shaky grip, pinging off the floor as my auburn hair spills wild, framing my face like a storm cloud. My ribs thrum with a fierce beat when the door swings wide, and Jasper staggers in, golden skin dulled by shadow, grey eyes frantic with dread. His denim jacket droops, a banner of collapse. "Lila's done with me," he chokes, voice cracking like brittle reeds. "She said you know it all." His confession stirs my blood, a sour mix of his weakness and her venom. I stand, legs firm, the fire in my gut blazing hotter. "Good," I hiss, each word a splinter hurled at him. "You're next." That vow I carved minutes ago sharpens, a weapon honed in fury. He lurches forward, hands fumbling for forgiveness, but I shove him back, fist tightening as I point to the door. "Out," I growl, my voice a whip snapping through the stillness. His jaw slackens, a plea dying on his lips when footsteps tap sharply behind him. Lila strides up, gold hoops glinting like sparks in the gloom, amber eyes alight with cruel delight. Her brown skin glows under the street lamp, and her hand brushes her pocket, a subtle tease. "Told you he's weak," she murmurs, her tone a ribbon of silk threaded with thorns. My breath catches, pinned between his desperation and her taunt. "She's here with more to throw at me. You're not ready for this." I'm planted on my stoop, Jasper staggering from my shove as Lila's taunt coils around us in the London gloom. My hazel eyes flare, pinning her as she glides forward, gold hoops swinging like metronomes ticking out my fury. Her amber stare cuts through me, keen as a raptor's, and her brown skin gleams under the street lamp's haze, a portrait of unshaken poise. "Told you he's weak," she murmurs, her voice a satin cord tightening around my throat. I grip my teeth, a growl rumbling as my auburn hair dances in the night's breath. "Weak or not, he's your wreckage now," I hurl back, each word a brick smashing her calm. Jasper lurches sideways, golden skin blanching, grey eyes darting like a cornered beast's. "Evelyn, wait," he stammers. "It's not what you think," his plea fraying like a threadbare cloth. I slice the air with my hand, cutting him off. "No more lies," I roar, the inferno in my chest blazing wild. Their web of deceit unravels before me, a shroud I'm shredding with every breath. Lila tilts her head, watching him squirm, then rests a hand on her stomach with deliberate ease. "He's more than wreckage," she says, pausing as his jaw drops. "I'm pregnant." The revelation lands like a thunderclap splitting the silence, shockwaves jolting through me. My breath stalls, hands shaking as the ground seems to sway, and Jasper's denim jacket quakes with his gasp. "You didn't know," she croons, her tone a dagger cloaked in honey, carving deeper with every word. My vision swims, their betrayal a noose tightening, but that fire inside surges, clawing me back. "Get out, both of you," I rasp, voice raw as splintered wood, shoving past the tremble in my fists. Her smirk wavers, his eyes beg, but she chuckles, a sound dark as rolling fog. "What's she brewing now? You'll find out soon." I'm quivering on my stoop, Jasper and Lila fading into the London murk as her dark chuckle dissolves in the mist. My hazel eyes linger on their retreating forms, the sting of "I'm pregnant" still crushing my ribs. But a molten fury bubbles beneath, stoked by their betrayal. My auburn hair sticks to my tear-streaked face as I stumble inside, The flats hush, roaring louder than their tangled lies. Jasper's weak, "It's not what you think," gnaws at me. A frail echo, I stomp into silence. He didn't know, and that betrayal slices deeper, a pawn blind to her chessboard. I sink to the floor, knees jarring against the planks, and curse their names under my breath, each syllable fueling the resolve hardening my core. She thinks she's won, flaunting that child like a crown, but I'm far from beaten. Days spiral into a restless fog, my mind churning like a restless sea, until I dig out Jasper's laptop from under the bed, its dusty shell a relic from the box of letters I burned. The screen flares, yielding to a password I'd cracked months ago, and my fingers dance, unveiling a secret stash, thousands he'd hoarded in the dark. A smirk carves my lips, fierce and unyielding, as I siphon it clean, every transfer a strike against their twisted game. This is mine now, a blade I've seized from their grasp. A call I'd ignored buzzes again, insistent, but I savor the quiet hum of triumph until a fierce knock shatters it. Lila bursts in, gold hoops flashing like signal fires, amber eyes ablaze with wrath I've kindled. "You took it," she snarls, her voice a gale tearing through brittle branches, brown skin taut with rage. My blood sings, defiance flaring bright. She wants a showdown? Step right up, friends. I'm braced in my London flat, Lila towering over me as her amber eyes blaze with fury. My hazel gaze locks onto hers, my pulse skipping then steadying like a stone settling in a rushing stream, while my auburn hair flares around my face like a battle standard caught in a gust. "You took it," she snarls again, her voice a lash slicing through the quiet, gold hoops quivering with her wrath. Her brown skin darkens with a tempest brewing beneath, but I ease back, legs crossed on the chair, a stillness washing over me. "Took what?" I reply, my tone sleek as a honed blade, a smirk flickering like a flame on parched grass. The laptop purrs beside me, its drained account a quiet jab, and I savor the shift of power tipping my way. "That money was ours," she spits, lunging forward, fingers grasping at nothing as her hands twitch with frustration. I stand, measured and firm, my shadow spilling across the floor like a river reclaiming its banks. "You stole my life," I say, each word a chisel-breaking stone. "So I claimed what's mine." Her breath snags, a ragged gust, and doubt creeps into her predator's stare, a crack splitting her defiance. "He bolted when I told him," she mutters, her voice thinning as her hands tremble, revealing Jasper's flight. I step nearer, my words a whisper of ice cutting through her heat. "You've got nothing left to hold." Her jaw clenches, gold hoops stilling, but her anger gutters, a candle drowning in its wax. She staggers back, resolve fracturing, and I rise taller, the flat's air humming with my victory. "You'll regret this," she hisses, her threat a fading echo, her eyes flicking to the door. "Jasper's fled this chaos. Wait till you see what's next." I'm savoring the quiet of my London flat, Lila's defeated exit, a faint ripple fading into the city's drone. My hazel eyes shimmer with the rush of victory, my auburn hair a wild halo as I slump into the chair, the laptop's dim light a badge of my conquest. Her twitching hands and broken threats play in my head, a fragile web I've torn apart with every step. The money's mine now, a lifeline I've snatched from their ruin, and Jasper's absence seals my win. I sip cold tea, its tang a shadow of their collapse, when a low growl rumbles outside, a vibration tingling up my spine. My smirk fades, a chill creeping in as I edge to the blinds, peering out to see headlights slicing the twilight like a predator's gaze. Jasper's car lurches to a stop, and he spills out, golden skin glistening with panic, grey eyes frantic as a trapped bird's. "She's coming for you," he chokes, voice a leaf shuddering in a squall, his denim jacket flapping like a shredded flag. "She's after me for the debts I owe, and I can't face her alone." My tea splashes over my fingers, the flat's air thickening as his plea stokes a flicker of unease. Lila's not finished. I march to the door, my shadow a pillar stretching bold across the planks, and throw it open, pinning his wild stare. "What's she plotting?" I demand, my voice a spark leaping from flint, sharp with rising dread. He rakes his hair, stammering. "She's furious, says you've wrecked it all." His terror floods the space, a current I can't dam, and I sense a storm gathering beyond his words. Headlights blaze again, nearer now. A second car roaring through the mist. Lila's here so soon. Buckle up, folks. It's about to get wild. I'm anchored at my flat's door, Jasper's ragged breaths swirling around me as Lila's headlights slash the London dusk. My hazel eyes sharpen, pinning his quaking frame, my auburn hair a restless curtain fluttering in the night's bite. "She's after me for the debts," he stammers again, grey eyes flitting like moths snared in a lantern, his golden skin gleaming with terror. My spilled tea seeps into the floor, a chill stain echoing the tension, threading up my back, but I clutch the frame, grounding myself against his chaos. "Where'd you hide?" I bark, my voice a lash snapping through the murk, fierce enough to slice his ramble. He recoils, denim jacket, whispering like reeds in a tempest, and chokes out, "A mate's flat by the river, but her car was tailing me." His confession knots my stomach, a toxin ringing through the stillness, and I feel her nearing, a wolf tracking a bloodied trail. "Get in," I command, shoving him inside, my shadow a stark blade cleaving the planks. The second car screeches nearer, rubber gnawing the pavement, and I slam the door, its boom a knell locking us in. My thoughts whirl, a tempest spinning through knotted vines, mapping his path, her pursuit. "She won't stop," he mutters, crumpling onto the couch, hands raking his face as if he could claw free of her grip. I pivot, the flat's air buzzing with my intent, and snatch my coat, its leather a shield against the gale rising outside. "I'll track her down before she strikes," I vow, my words a promise forged in ice, each breath a flare stoking my hunt. The engine outside snarls, a beast stalking the curb, and I wrench the door open, stepping into the fray. Lila's form hulks in the car, amber eyes flashing through the windshield. She's here to finish it? Let's see who hunts who now, mates. I'm standing steadfast outside my London flat, the night's bite gnawing at my skin as Lila's car hums before me, its rumble a beast's restless growl. My hazel eyes fixed on her shadowed form, a taut shape behind the glass, my auburn hair billowing like a flag caught in a gale's embrace. She emerges, amber eyes flaring like torches in a cave, gold hoops swinging like bells heralding a last stand. Her brown skin glints under the street lamp's haze, a mask stretched tight with rage. And I root myself, the concrete a firm tether beneath my will. "You've crossed me," she snarls, her voice a viper's hiss threading through the mist, each syllable laced with poison. Jasper calls out weakly from within, "Lila, stop!" His plea a thin thread trembling through the ajar door, but I meet her glare, my chest a forge blazing with their treachery. "You crossed me first," I fire back, my words a barrage of bolts, launched from a taut crossbow, piercing and relentless. She strides closer, her coat sweeping like a raven's wings poised for vengeance, and I stand my ground, the air snapping like a bowstring drawn tight. "That money was my future," she snaps, her hand grazing her stomach, her voice quavering as the stakes sink in. My mouth twists, a sharp grin slashing through my steel, and I advance, shrinking the distance. "Your future's forged on deceit," I say, my tone a smith's mallet shaping raw truth from their ruin. Her eyes flare, then dim, a shudder of fear rippling through her stance, and she stumbles, her bravado cracking like thin ice. Jasper's voice falters inside, a moth beating against a pane, tugging at her fraying nerve. "You're finished," I proclaim, my breath a gust in the frigid night, but her lips curl, a growl escaping as her hand plunges into her pocket, a metallic glint catching the light. What's she got there? Hang on, mates, this isn't over.